Hey, what's up, fellas? It's John. I'm going to show you guys how to mix mid-side versus stereo versus a raw example. And the benefits of mixing in mid-side are tremendous when compared to mixing only in stereo or leaving things raw. So I'll show you how to set up a mid-side mixing process in a sec, and I'll show you right now that I have a sound impurity routed like this. As you can see, it goes to channel 11 and channel 12, and 2 does not go to the master. It goes to these two channels here, which have these plugins over here and these three plugins over here, two of which are not activated purposefully, and also two here not activated purposefully, so you can understand what they're going to do when it's time to mix. And for the stereo mix, I'm going to put it over here on channel 1 when it's time, and we'll get right to the actual sound that I have right here. I gain stage it so it's super low. That way when we mix it, it'll sound a lot better. So this is right now totally raw. Well, no, it's not totally raw. Let me make it totally raw. I'll put over here in channel 15. So the only thing that's really affecting it right now are things that I have on the master, which are very negligible. So this is raw. Some people, they like to leave it here and just mess with the faders. I don't think that's the best way to do things at all, because first, what I've noticed in my most recent mixes is there's a lot of mid-side balancing that needs to be done in order for you to have good feedback on bad speakers. So with that being said, what I have here is channel 2 playing audio, and I have it routed over to channel 11 and channel 12. So I will show you how to do this. Right now it's not routed anywhere. Here's what it normally looks like. Okay, so it's very simple. Channel 2 goes through all this, then goes to the fader and through these effects, and then it gets routed to the master. I don't want that to happen because I want to mix the mid and side separately. So we'll unclick here, click here, and then, you know, what I have here is pretty obvious. I showed you already what plugins that I have, and you know how to do this already. Stereo separation. This is mono, so this is full stereo. This is full mono. And when I say full stereo, I mean it's emphasizing the stereo more than the mono or the side more. Over here, though, we have a utility plugin that takes away all the mid and gives the side imaging everything that it needs, and the master is down 2 to compensate for the side being so high. So every trim, every trim, every trim, I triple it to really get the effect working, and you'll see something very interesting. So right now we have mono and stereo. It's not stereo. Stereo is actually mono and side together. And whenever you mix in stereo, you're parallel processing. Whatever happens to the mid happens to the side, which should be a good thing. But if you don't have enough mid or side in the original sound that's raw, it's going to make a phase issue. And it's not even that. It's going to make a leveling issue. So right now, doesn't this look kind of interesting? It looks identical, but why? You know, it's a side. It's supposed to be a mixture. Well, there's no mono in this side at all. If we take a look over here at span, and I click on this one, absolutely zero mono. This is all stereo information, or not stereo, but side information. This is all mono information. Completely mono, completely side. So now we can work and balance the two out. So for this part, I'm going to start mixing, and I just put a lot of emphasis on the dynamics of the stereo. I keep saying stereo, but the dynamics of the side and the fun sounds are going to go into the mono, because the mono is pretty boring audio to me. So Fruity Blood Overdrive, and right here we have a parametric EQ on the mono side in linear phase mode. I want to go to stereo though, or side. If I say stereo, just know I mean side unless I explicitly start describing what stereo is. So I have the monitor input as side so that I can see what I'm doing in the side. And yes, this is a stereo, emphasized on stereo, which means mid and side. This is a stereo EQ, but since there is no mono, it just affects the side. We'll get span out the way. So let's see. I like to surgically bring out the best parts of the song in an EQ, and I don't necessarily remove artifacts that I don't like until the, no, actually it's the other way around. I will remove artifacts that I don't like, whether it be in the raw sound or just in general inside the initial EQ. So by bringing this up, I'm dulling this, which I don't like as much over here, even though it does need a little bit of a boost. So I'm kind of contradicting myself here. EQ is a funky little device that I use for a lot of things. We'll just put it like that. And it's a very paradoxical tool. in a lot of ways, because you want to do things to boost, you want to do things to negate things, and sometimes you want to do things at the same time. So whatever sounds good dynamically is what I'm going for here. Bring out the dynamics, and then from there I can enhance it. There, I should have said it to begin with. So all that is being processed only in the side. This is going to be a very annoying sound if you have monitors or speakers. Be aware of that. This is side only. Much better than this, which is more weak. It may, and it's not even that. Well, I kind of messed up here. Let me take away this. Actually, sorry. Let me take away this. That's raw side. That's what you'll be mixing over here in the stereo. You'll be just dealing with this versus a much more enhanced side over here and a more custom side in this. So this is just pure side audio, like I had mentioned a billion times already. Let's go over to the mono. And sometimes I like to mute the side, mix the mono, but for this scenario, I will mix the mono with the side. I have linear phase mode on because I don't want to have any kind of polarity issues or panning issues in the mono at all. So now I can really get into like a sound design kind of way of thinking. Like, how do I want to adjust the mono different from the side? We'll turn things down just so that I don't overpower my voice. The trick is you want to balance the mid with the side. You want these two to be pretty equal, because you don't want one overpowering the other, which is the main issue that I've discovered recently in my mixes for bad speaker playback on bad speakers. You want to have these two equally powerful. That way none trumps the other. It's not a polarity thing. It's a leveling thing. You want the side leveling to be as good as the mono leveling and vice versa. Oh my God, I got the hiccups. Pure side, pure mono. Let's just use our ears. Well, obviously, even this will tell you it's pretty equal. So I did mention a stereo mix, and I will show you. Theoretically, or not theoretically, by your ears notion, you might find this to be a better sound, but if you go here, that's the mono, this is the side, and right down the middle, honestly, this sound is pretty balanced. So if you have a balanced sound, you don't necessarily need to make any adjustments over here. This is to give you a more custom edge. All this is about is customizing. Well, not all of it, but if you have more mono or more side leaning ways, like you have 70% side audio merging with 30% mono audio, the side will over dominate the mono and you'll have an off balance mix. So notice that when you mix, stereo, not side, but stereo. And there's just so much more you can do when you process the mid differently than the side. I can do things on the mid that I can't do on the side, or that I can do differently on the side, and I can do things on the side that I can do differently on the mid. And it's just interesting to me. And I could add more plugins, but we already know how to mix in stereo. Everybody does. That's what you mix it at home. And you go, ooh, wow, that's cool, wow, that's cool. Find a healthy balance. And the way you do that, I suppose, is by going in here. Of mid, side, not necessarily leveling, but dynamics. So if I were to sum things up, can't block the mic, sorry. If I were to sum things up, I would say, if you want customized sound and you want a more powerful output on speakers and you want to make sure that you have a level stereo mix when the mid and the side are level with each other, I would do the method of putting a routing like this one on, your project file. Definitely worth having for any track that you're going to make, You want to have some things maybe mixed in stereo that don't need mid-side processing, but mid-side is a huge benefit to your mixing. And I hope you found this video informative, helpful. Uh, you don't have to, but I would appreciate a subscribe, and I would appreciate a like. It does help with the channel. So do whatever you want. I'm not going to judge you for it, but at the end of the day, I'm here to help you. That's my main goal. So my main goal is to help you and then act like you don't know what I'm talking about.